What's up, dudes? Brad the Fixologist here. This is my 2003 Jaguar XJ8. Got some issues. So recently I had a episode where I noticed that the engine was hiccuping some, so it was like kind of jerking and being really not smooth. I knew something was up with it, so I went to the store and I got some gas treatment, thinking, okay, well maybe we had some water ingress somewhere in the fuel system, and maybe it's just that simple and I won't have to do anything else to it. You know, wishful thinking. I don't know if I still got the bottle or not, but anyway, I got some of that STP gas treatment or whatever it was. I don't know if it was STP or the other stuff, and added some to some premium fuel. I usually don't put premium in it, but I did this time because I wanted to stop the misfiring. Okay, now this is what I put in there. I think it's the O'Reilly. Yeah, it's the O'Reilly stuff, the fuel injector and carburetor cleaner. So I was thinking maybe we had a fuel injector issue or something like that. It was causing a misfire, but no such luck, because soon after doing that, putting that stuff in and filling it up with premium fuel, I was going down the road and it started really hiccuping, and then it came up with an error on the cluster. And the error was restricted performance. So it goes into, these Jaguars, they'll go into a mode, a restricted performance mode. And a lot of modern cars will do this also, but these Jags, I've had this issue with them a couple different times. I own a couple of these, and it has happened to me before where I'd get restricted performance. So what it basically does is allows you to limp home in the case of you know, some kind of failure. In this case, I think what we've got is a misfire, and I'll show you what's going on. Right now I'm charging the battery. I don't know if you saw that or not. So the battery's in the rear on these vehicles. Charging the battery. It's been on charge for a couple hours and it's still drawing 2 amps. So I'm hoping this battery I didn't destroy this battery in the process of leaving it sit for this long. Let me see first of all if we can start it and kind of see what it does. Okay, so this is the first time it's ran in probably maybe 4 months. Okay, so boot open, that's because the boot's open. Restricted performance, there we go. This gearbox fault, okay, that's something we're also probably going to try to fix. If not in this video, then definitely in a future video. Now this J-gate right here, I had to actually break it at one time to get this car even moving. I was sitting in line at a school stop, a pickup for my daughter, and this would sometimes be really hard to get out of parks. There's a solenoid in here that has to release it, and I think that solenoid was going bad, so I ended up yanking it down into gear, and ever since then it will get this gearbox fault at certain points when you start the car. So that's a different issue. I have a reader to read the computer, so we're going to see what all errors it throws at us. Let's hook that up and we'll look at it. Okay, so here's the reader that I have. It is an AutoFix OM126P, and it will read codes from all of these standards here. Okay, so we're going to check this out and see what kind of codes it give us. All right, let's read codes. And we'll scroll down to Jaguar. Okay, knock combustion vibration sensor B, circuit low. So we either have a bad knock sensor, or a bad circuit, a short or something on the circuit. But there's low voltage apparently, I guess, on that circuit is what that's saying. P0332, we'll look that up in a minute. Now we have 8 codes here to read. So there's one of our codes right there. So we have a bad knock sensor. Next, 2 of 8. We have a, let's see, heated oxygen sensor control module, bank 2, open or shorted. 1647. Pressure control solenoid, open circuit. P1746. P0328. So this is another knock sensor. Our first one was, let's see, this is sensor A, circuit high. This is sensor B, circuit low. Wow, okay. That's the same code as the other one. There's another O2 sensor. All right, so anyway, there's the codes that we can read. Can we erase codes maybe? And let's erase the codes. Yeah. Let's reset this. Okay, engine's off, the key is on. And we're going to press enter key. Okay, information's been cleared. I think what we should do now, let's turn the key off. Okay, so now that the codes are erased, the ones that we had previously, because this thing's been setting for a while, maybe maybe things got cleared up on their own. One thing I will tell you that I did, which was kind of stupid, is I washed off a little bit of oil and grease off the engine with a water hose before all this started occurring. So I think I might have gotten a module wet or something during that process. I thought I was really careful, but apparently I wasn't careful enough. Okay, so there's our restricted performance. It's still there, but let's see what error codes it reads now that after been erased. We only have 4 errors now. I think that's because some of our previous ones were erased, the duplicates. We still have the 0328 error, this oxygen sensor error, onboard diagnostics readiness test not complete, and we've got this other NOx sensor. All right, so we're going to look these errors up. I happen to have the manual, or part of the manual for this. So this is the manual for the reader, the scanner. But I also have the manual for this car, and I've printed out a lot of the paperwork I think we're going to need already. So we'll go through this stuff and do some research before we get started on doing all this. But I do know that I'm going to have to change because it misfires. Right now, the engine is running smooth, but if I get this thing up past about 3,000 RPMs, there. You feel that? You feel it. It goes boom, boom, boom. So you get it up to about 3,000, and it's misfiring, I think, is what's going on. And so that is an issue with probably a coil pack. Coil pack maybe shorting out, something like that. Spark plugs. So I have a new set of coil packs and plugs. We'll install some new coil packs and plugs, and then we'll research these error codes and start knocking those out one by one. Okay, so here's a box with all of our new coil packs and everything in here. These will be our spark plugs. Spark plugs go into the coil packs and kind of sit on top, go down inside of here. So what we have to do is remove this cover on this side and the other cover on the other side. But we've got to remove all this air intake stuff to get to that one on that side. So yeah, we got to remove all this. And while we're at it, we may go ahead and even we may just go ahead and replace the mass airflow sensor and the air filter while we're at it. But we've got to loosen all this up and get this out of the way so we can get to the coil packs on this side. Okay, you squeeze this and pull. Yeah, okay, squeeze and pull. So that's that. That's an 8. All right. Pop this box open. These things always scare me. Knuckle busters. There's another one back here. Of course there is. This little trim piece. And what do we got back here? Oh, this goes nowhere. This just goes nowhere. Wow. Alright. Not sure what that does. Is that some kind of vent? Usually for the cabin, but it's deleted on this model. Maybe. Don't know. Gotta be out of the way. Oh, another clip. Stupid clip. There we go. Now, there we go. Alright. Ooh, the air filter. What is that? Ooh, it's about time for an air filter. Unplug this sensor right here, get it out of the way. What are we? These are probably 8s also. These look like 8s also. They are not. They're 7s. Yeah, I'd say what happened was when I did some washing of the engine, getting some of the oil off, I probably got some water down inside of here and shorted out some, which caused the misfire. But then I probably also got some water down inside the knock sensor housing. Is this the knock sensor right here? I don't know, but it should be up here on top. It might be under this. Can't remember correctly, but it's down on the engine. And that might be causing the restricted performance too, to be fair. I'm going to clean and lubricate all these screws before putting them back in, as they're very rusty. Okay, so my two theories for why it's misfiring was number one, obviously coil packs. It's not going to hurt to change the coil packs regardless, even if they're not at fault, but we're going to try to rev it up after this, changing just coil packs and spark plugs, and we'll see if that solved the problem. And if not, my second theory is it's knock sensor related. The knock sensor is there to sense misfires, and if it's defective, it will put it into a restricted performance automatically. Ooh, that one's really rusty right there. Look at that. Okay. Okay. All right. Underneath here, we've got, what do we got? Got a little bit of oil right there. Got a little bit of splattered oil inside of this cover. A little bit. It's not much, but it's a little tiny bit. All right. These are the coil packs right here. And these are Denso 12 volts coil packs, made in Spain. So we'll get these out of here one at a time, then we'll do our spark plugs too. We'll do one side, then we'll do the other. Got to unplug each of these connectors, and these are sometimes a pain. You got to press down on this little bit, and then helps to kind of pry. Oh, geez, I can't. There we go. There we go. Okay. This is a 4 connector. They made these also in I think 3 connector, and it depends on what year your Jag is, which one you get. But this one is the 4 connector. You might actually, before you trust anything you see on the internet, you might want to lay eyes on your particular connectors before you order them, because you might order the wrong thing. All right. Okay, what about you? Yep, that's you. 16 millimeter. Okay. Come on, buddy. Don't break. Don't break. There we go. Okay. Don't break. Don't break. Yeah, I know there's clever tricks to get these out, but I'm just going to see if I can grab the damn thing. There we go. All right. What does this plug look like? Actually doesn't look too bad. It's not too bad. Definitely some sludge right there. I don't know if that came from inside the engine or if it's just dirt from outside. I think it's dirt from outside. Actually, that's not bad right there. What does our other plug gap look like here? It's going to be pretty similar, isn't it? Yep, looks virtually identical. Yeah, there's a bunch of oil. There's a bunch of oil right up here on the head. So, you know, I don't know if that was leaking or not. I mean, I'm going to have to do something else. You know what else I forgot? I forgot like silicone for spark arresting. Dielectric. Forgot to get a dielectric for this. Gosh, I thought I was prepared, but I'm not. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead and dismantle everything, and then we'll come back to this and get the spark plugs in when we get those. I might have to run to O'Reilly before they close. In what, though? My wife's got the other car, so crap. This one would have limped over there if I'd left it together. But I'm not doing that. Here's number 2. You gonna come off of there or what, buddy? Oh, shit. Fucking seriously. Okay. Okay. Oof. Oof. And all that. See how this was kind of, that's outside the thing. So either we had some leakage past it, or some oil was getting down from up here. I think it was probably leakage past it. This is very dangerous and stupid. Don't ever do this. Takes bolts out like this right next to an orifice that they could fall down into and would cause major issues. Pretty dumb. Oh, see how much is up past this? I don't know if you can see it or not. There's just tons of oil up past. That's escaped. Oh, and there's some sludge on there. Yeah, there's a lot of sludge and oil and stuff outside on this one. Probably should get a rag down in there. A little bit of a rust on top of this one, but not bad. Okay, there's more blow by on this one. Just a lot of oil. See, up past the point where it shouldn't be. That's the combustion chamber, so you really shouldn't get any oil in the combustion chamber unless you had bad rings or worn rings. So, possible I probably got some worn rings here on this engine. But it's still running and still moving me down the road. I think I'm going to put them in as is for now. And if I experience any problems, I'll come back in and fix it. Yeah, probably not the best way to go about things, but this is the way I am going to go about it. And of course, there will be torque specs here that I'm going to just kind of ignore. All right, let me go ahead and check the torque on those, just to be on the safe side. Okay, torque should be 23 to 28 pounds. Okay, there's 23 pounds right there. Okay, there's 23. Damn.
I'll even destroy all the ice cream shops in the state.
You will.
Doritos. I'll even destroy Freddy's.
There's 23. Getting there. We're getting there. There, 23. Okay, 23 across the board. I'm going light on it. It said 23 to 28 on the torque spec. We went to 23. I'd rather err on the side of not enough than too much. Okay, there's one side done. Should probably go ahead and spray these contacts right here with contact cleaner before I get this all back together, but they actually look pretty clean. I'm gonna let them ride. Taking them off and putting them back on would definitely help anyway. Let's see, this little thing goes there, and the harness needs to go up inside. A couple little pegs that go in some holes here that hold the wiring harness up out of the way when you put the cover back on. I'm gonna go ahead and wipe down the inside of this cover because we had a little bit of splatter on in here, and I just want to see if it recurs with the new plugs. Wipe down this gasket too. Make sure it seals. All right, one side done. Let's get this air filter box. Well, do I need an air filter? I probably do. Yeah, I could probably stand to change that. I'm gonna blow it out though, because I'm cheap. Okay, we're rapidly starting to lose light today, so I'm gonna have to hurry this along. I can tell that there's a lot more rust on the coil packs on this side, so I would say the problem was over on this side on the misfire front. Also, I happen to be looking down from the other side. You could see down toward the top of the block, and there was some moisture sitting on top of the block. So probably, who knows how long it had been there, probably since I washed the stupid thing like an idiot. But I would have thought running it would have kind of, evaporated it off, but apparently it didn't. So I took the blower just now and blew off the top of the block as best I could. So hopefully, maybe, there's an outside chance we can get this going if we're lucky. Would be nice to fire it up and see if it still hiccups at 3,000 RPMs, or if it still gets the restricted performance. It probably will, because the knock sensor, I think, is definitely part of the problem because of all that moisture that's sitting down there on the block. But yeah, I can tell already. Oh yeah. Look at all the rust on this. So we had some water get in for sure, some moisture, and I don't know if you're gonna be able to see this or not, but it's actually gotten into the core, it looks like, maybe on this one. So yeah, wouldn't surprise me a bit if that was a problem. And then we've got oil here. Shouldn't have oil outside the spark plugs. unless we had, like I said, maybe a problem with the rings. I don't know why you're getting stuck. Why are you getting stuck? God, that's stupid. All right. Yep. Rust on every one of these on this side. All of them. One in particular had a lot of oil on the outside. Okay. That one looks pretty good. That's not bad. This one, yep, got a little bit outside of it. Not too bad. That was not actually bad at all. Yeah, it's not too bad either. Ooh. Ooh, look at all the oil that's down in that. Oh, that's a lot. Oh God, that one was bad. Okay. That one was bad. Oh my God, yeah. We've got a lot of blow by on this cylinder right here. This first one back here. There's a lot. I'm wondering too, maybe that's the one that's missing. So if we're running on 7 cylinders and that one's not burning up what's in the chamber, then it might stand to reason that there would be more, a little bit more blow by and accumulation of oil in that cylinder head. So, don't know, thinking out loud. One down. There we go. There we go. All right. All are torqued to 23 pounds. Almost there. Yeah, started this way too late in the day. All right, so this thing's fully done with the coil packs and the spark plugs. So I'm going to fire it up and let it run for a bit, see what she does, and see if we get different error codes or if it hiccups or what. Okay, let's hook her up. I'm going to clear these codes. Okay, ignition is on, engine is off, and we'll press enter. Mission-related diagnostic information has been cleared. Okay, start her up again. We have 2 knock sensor errors. We have knock sensor knock combustion vibration sensor A and sensor B both, and the oxygen sensor, bank 2, open or shorted. So we still have to take care of those. I think I'm going to try to drive this thing around the block and then come back and clear the errors and then go back to it, because I want to make sure. I'm going to replace those sensors regardless, but I just want to see what it does. It sounds like I'm getting some air leakage. I think I'm getting a vacuum leak. If I do it slowly, it's fine, but if I try to lay on it, it's like it hesitates. Watch again. You hear that little right when I hit the accelerator, there's a hesitation. Yeah, there's some kind of vacuum leak or something here. Tell me down in the comments what you think is causing that, because that's the next thing I want to fix. I want this thing to have a little more get up and go, and I think we've got a vacuum leak, but it sounds like there's hesitation. Yeah, not sure. Tell me what you think's causing that. Alright, we got these sensors on. This should be the knock sensors, yeah. So I got these on eBay. Reason for eBay, if you try to buy brand new knock sensors for this model Jag, you're spending $200 each for these damn things, and there's 2 of them. So what I did was I went and found on eBay, I found a set of knock sensors for a 2006, and I think what I can do here is clip the old sensors off of this connector, which does not fit this model, and rewire it to the old connectors. That's the idea, at least. So these are Siemens, and the numbers on these, the code is a PA66-GF30. I don't know what any of those numbers mean. And then you've got a SM6 on the bottom side. Now I could measure these for resistance, for DC resistance, and just see how closely they match. We'll pull the old ones out first, and I'll show you how to. I think I know how to do this. I think these are. Is this popped in? I think this might be popped in this little cover. It's just kind of, yeah, it's just sitting on there. Okay, so we just got to remove this guy. And we've got these overflow hoses in the way, so let's pop. These just pop right off. Just breeze it up, I guess. Never even had this thing off before. Okay, knock sensor. It is right down in there. It's gonna be real hard to see because this damn thing won't focus on what I'm trying to show you. Focusing on everything but. There it is. You can see it right down in there. See, it looks like a hex bolt or something on top. All right, so one of the sensors plugs in right here. You can see that's the end of the sensor right there. See the bracket that's attached to that bracket right there? You can see it was once mounted up there on this piece. And I think was that a water pump? I think it's the water pump, I'm not sure. Looks like it might be. Must be, because that's where it's all connected to these hoses for the coolant. But it looks like it was riveted on there somehow. And that has come loose. And I hope that wasn't getting some kind of ground through that. I doubt it was, but it might have been. And maybe that's the source of the issue. I don't know. We'll have to see. I kind of doubt it, though. Okay, so our other sensor is right down there. You can see it. It's pretty plain as day. They're actually kind of easy to get to. You can see, you just don't want to drop the bolts for them. But let's get, we'll get some sockets out. Okay. Oh, I see. That the top post that I was trying to take it off of, that is not what you want to come off. That's the stud that it's mounted on. Okay, so there we go. Can I reach it? No, I'm not gonna be able to reach it with those. Just need to knock that sensor off the post. There we go. It's coming off. It's coming up off there. Sort of. Yeah, let's try that right there. I think that's gonna be, yeah, that's gonna be it. I think. Except there's a piece of plastic in the way. There's a piece of damn plastic in the way. There's a piece of plastic from this thing. It goes straight down and it's right in the way. It's not gonna let me get the old one off or a new one on without shaving that somehow. I'm gonna have to get I'm gonna get a Dremel tool down in there and shave that down. See this piece of plastic? There's a piece of plastic off of this piece that's sticking out right in the way, and I'm gonna have to shave that. All right. Well, it stinks like melted plastic, but I think it's out of the way. Let's try that again. There we go. Now you're coming out. I think you're coming out. Yep. There you go. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Get caught on this hose. Come out of there. Come on. See, the thing is, I can't really damage that connector because I need it. I need that connector. There we go, got it. Okay, that's it here. It's actually pretty handy because that stud keeps that nut from falling off and you losing it. There we go. We got her. Now we gotta unplug it first, and it's plugged in right here. So one is plugged in here, and one is plugged in here on your engine. I don't think this bracket's really important anyway, because it's just, it's not even, barely even on there. So I gotta fish this up at the same time that I'm getting this thing off of here. So I'm pulling up on that, getting it off of the stud. Grab this and fish it out like so. Easy peasy. All right, so what are we looking at size wise? They are similar but not exact. Similar but not exact, but damn close. I think these are probably going to be close enough to work. But I'm going to take these inside and do some measurements, and then we'll check it out. And also have to clip these leads and replace them with this one. Let's see what we've got here. I want to see what the ohms readings are on these sensors. And just because they're continuous doesn't mean that they're good necessarily. Yeah, both of them have quite a bit of corrosion on the bottom. These, by contrast, are not nearly as bad. They're used, but they're not nearly as bad. They came out of I'm sure, probably a wrecked vehicle. that's been parted out. But let's see what we've got here. This might be easier said than done. Okay, 200K on that. Ooh, it's cracked as well. It's cracked. It's cracked up here on top. The housing for this is cracked. So, yeah, I'd say maybe it was getting some false readings, but that's 200K, and I think that's what it's supposed to be. So as far as the ohms measurement, the impedance, it's reading fine. This one, however, is not fine. You saw there it started out 50K, something like that. 70K, and it's going up, but that ain't right. It should not read like that. It should just read 200K and be done with it. But it's going up and up and up. It's probably going to go up to the 200K. But probably that's what's happening is when it turns on, it's getting false readings. See? There's a voltage on my probe, so there's like probably about 2 volts or so of voltage that's being fed through to get measurements, and that voltage being applied to the element, to the piezo element, is causing it to change. But this one's cracked also, so these are definitely bad. I don't know if you can tell this or not. There's a crack that runs like from here all the way over to there. It's all cracked, and these things are very sensitive, and I'd say that's probably why it's not working. This one's cracked also from right there all the way over to there. Just a big long crack. The ohms reading was correct. Now let's read these and we'll see what we get. So also, before I clip these off, I want to see something else. I want to see which of these leads is going to this piece of metal right here. That'll tell me which one is the actual conductor and which one is the shield. Oh, damn. If it'll cooperate. Because, like I said, I'm going to have to, we want to scratch this too to make sure that we get good contact. This is going to be easier said than done. Wow, it's all over the place, the reading is. I'm wondering, does it matter? I don't know if it's going to matter. I don't know if it's going to matter. But I think I'll keep white with white and red. I'll put red with black on these just to be sure. But I don't think the polarity shouldn't matter on a piezo element. It's just a piezo element. It's just a sensor, so it should not matter, the polarity. But as I say that, at the same time, I don't want to screw it up. So I'm going to cut this back just a little bit so we can get a little extra lead. So we'll cut it. I'm going to take the old one and we'll cut it back to about here or so. Are we going to need a lot of extra lead here? I think these are actually longer. Yeah, these are longer already. So we don't need a whole lot of extra lead, but it'd be nice actually to have it anyway. So I'm going to cut a little bit of extra here. Let's do that. We'll strip that. Here's the other old one. And again, we'll cut it and get a little extra, about an inch or so, maybe extra lead like that. Now, this is useless, so we'll just cut this. Cut these here. right? And I forgot to measure the impedance on these, but that's all right. I'm going to strip it and we'll measure it then. Okay, let's see what the PTO is. The other ones are supposed to be 200K. I'm getting nothing. Maybe it needs to be scraped. Oh no. Got nothing. Nothing at all. Just open. Man. The reason I'm worried about, man, yeah, see, that one's open too. Open. It shouldn't read open. Oh my God. Well, I mean, it's just, all it is a piezoelectric element. So it's supposed to read something. It's not supposed to just be open. And they're both open. The problem is I clipped them off right up here. So if I wanted to return this, I couldn't even, I don't know if I could even solder those on there. Well, I'm going to try. I'll tell you that. Yeah, that's bullshit. Yeah, I'm going to get my money back on those. The alternative that we can try to get the codes to go away, at least in the meantime, so we can try to diagnose the problem, we can add a resistor to each of those circuits, a 200K resistor. It'll trick the computer into thinking that the sensors are working, but they just won't be feeding any, information. We can try that in lieu of actually reinstalling the sensors. And there's debates, as to whether or not that's a good idea, whether or not it's going to hurt things or whatever, or whether you're risking your engine, by doing that. In this case, I have somewhere I have to be. And I really cannot continue to wait around for more of these sensors to come in, because I'm not going to order the correct sensors on this project, because like I said, that sensor right there, that's $200 for that. And I paid like $15 for both of those. So, and if they had worked, that would have been great. That would have been a magnificent solution, but they're not going to work because they're open. So I can take two 100s. That's what we'll have to do, because my other ones will be 220s. Yeah, I've got two. I go from 150 to 220. So I have to take a couple of 100 ohm resistors. And I mean, we can try this. We can try it. It might work. All right. Okay, so there's 200 ohms right there, and here's 200 ohms right here. We are going to plug these in. I'll show you what we're going to do here. Okay, so here's what we've done. We have put these two resistors, these are 100K each, in series on the old clip, and we're just going to probably just let them hang out there like that. We got to reattach this hose. Okay, we got our hose reattached. We've got resistors in both of those now, and we're gonna start the engine and just see what codes it throws up. We'll hook up that negative post. It should come to life, and any codes would have been cleared by the battery being off, I think. All right. This is the cluster saying restricted performance still. Let's see if that changes when we clear codes. Tell you what, let's start her up. Okay, we gotta clear these codes. Okay, let's erase the codes. turn the engine off. Turn the key to on. And press enter. All right. It's been cleared. Yeah, no codes. So let's start her up. One of three. What codes do we have now? Okay, pressure solenoid and oxygen sensor. So, okay, so our NOx sensor codes are gone. And is our restricted performance gone? Let's see. What does it say? Okay, so the gearbox fault, we know about that. That's a different issue. That's the pressure solenoid that it's talking about. That's actually in the, I don't think it's the solenoid though. I think it might be in the linkage to the solenoid. Okay, so we're out of restricted performance. We're not restricted anymore. Okay, we know we need to replace this still, but I think I'm gonna say screw it with these NOx sensors. I may try to locate some good ones, but obviously those ones that were sent to me are not good. I might also tape this up real good right here. I'll tape these up really nice so that they're not flopping around and stuff, and make sure that doesn't fall out. But yeah, I think we're good to go here. So we have the ABS light on, washer fluid low, that's nothing. Traction not available, ASC not available, skid control, I don't care about that. Okay, so this error, gearbox fault. This one, gearbox fault. So that happens because, again, I jerked this J-gate out of park one day because I would press on the pedal to release this and it would not release. The solenoid, I think, went bad in this shifter, and it wouldn't release, and I was kind of stuck in traffic and I had to go. So I jerked it down and broke this and kind of messed this up. We're going to replace this probably, if not in another video, maybe at the end of this one, but we'll see. Probably in another video we'll replace this because that'll make its own video probably. But I'll show you what I'm having to do usually in this car to get that to go away, the gearbox fault. And I've just kind of dealt with this like this for years. Sometimes it doesn't do it at all. But sometimes if it does come up when I just start the car, I have to actually cycle through a couple of the gears, just kind of get the transmission cycling through gears there. Sending signals a couple times, then back to park. And then I can shut the key off and then start it back up. And usually that will take care of it. 9 times out of 10, I won't get the error again. And I think that is the case right here now. It is. Okay, so that error only really comes up usually the first time I try to start the car cold. That error comes up. I don't know why it would do that when it's cold and then not do it after that. I don't get it. Maybe it has something to do with the charging the capacitors or something in the ECM. Maybe it's charging up the capacitors and they don't have a chance to drain fully. So the computer just doesn't kind of know what state it's in. I don't know. I'm just guessing. But let's see what we've got when we drive this thing now. I'm going to try to get this up to 3,000 RPM. So what I've found out about it, the 3,000 RPM thing, that there is a cutoff on 3,000 RPMs when it goes into restricted performance mode, and it does that to keep you from destroying your engine. Seem to be going just fine. I'm only going 30 though, and I can't really go much faster right here. I'd have to get out on the highway to go faster. I don't know if I'm ready for that quite yet. All right, we got past 3,000 RPM there. But this thing is not, there's not much giddy up and go here, even with the premium gasoline and the gas treatment. It just doesn't want to go. It's just hiccuping. I can feel it kind of misfiring. But it is not as bad as it was. Not as bad as it was. And we got to about 3,700 RPM there. But it takes a minute, man, to get up to that. It just doesn't want to go. There's some other tricks that you can do to try to clean sludge and try to clean like carbon buildup off the head. You can use water or sea foam, whatever. We might try a couple different things in another video, but it's definitely better than it was, put it that way. So anyway, I mean, as you can see, we still have some things remaining on the cluster. We've got we've got the problem with the shifter that we need to fix, and we'll do that actually in a different video. You know, if you have to get going and you've got a restricted performance and you have a code reader, and if you can see that it's due to those knock sensors, you can actually change those knock sensors out with a couple of resistors. And I mean, the resistors are like less than 10 cents, and maybe get you going down the road. Yeah, the only code that I have left that it's throwing now is the oxygen sensor. But the problem is, well, let me show you on the other side of the engine. There's an upstream and a downstream oxygen sensor for each side. The upstream sensor on this side is right there. Might be kind of hard to see. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it or not, but I'll adjust it accordingly so maybe you can see it. But it's right there. It would be easy to get to on this side. As you can see, the exhaust manifold is right here coming out of the engine, and that's the upstream oxygen sensor, and then it'll go to the catalytic converter on this side, and then there'll be a downstream sensor. This sensor on the other side is the one that needs to be replaced, that sensor, but you can't get to it. Can't even see it. Can't even see it over here because it's, well, first of all, this is in the way. Second of all, this shield right here, this heat shield, is in the way, and I don't know exactly where it is underneath there, and I do not see it, and I don't think I'm going to be able to reach it. Let me see. What can I see under here? I don't know. Maybe nothing. I might need to get this thing up off the ground, but I don't want to get underneath it on this asphalt. What is that dripping? Is that oil? What is that? Where's that condensation? That is oil. Man, that's leaking oil pretty good too. Look at that. And look, we've been leaking for a bit. Not all of this is oil. This is where I took that cap off of that, or that, that's where I took that radiator hose off. a minute ago, a lot of this, but some of it is oil, and I've got some spots of oil here. So that's another thing to contend with. See how low we are. We're not low, but we're not on max either. Yeah, the hiccups might be due to the oxygen sensors. I do have them coming in, but they're not here quite yet. And I really don't want to go long distance without them being changed out. I might actually have somebody put them in for me, because it'd be way easier to get it up on a lift to do them all. And I'm not going to set up jack stands on asphalt. See, the problem is my concrete slab in my garage, you know, look at my garage. So, yeah, I might take this thing in and have them get it up on the lift. When I get the parts in, the sensors, I might have them just get it up on the lift and change those 4 out for me real quick. It won't take long to do it. Hopefully it won't cost that much. So yeah, that'll do it for this one for right now, and we'll see y'all later.